Hey, GutFoxx here. Today we have MUT Men episode number 56. I am joined, like always, by Texas. How you doing?
Sore as hell, man. Sore as hell.
So what do you sore from?
So I moved out to Colorado, and I had to carry a bunch of stuff in my arms, hands, all this stuff because I forgot that you only can have 50 pounds per bag. So I'm over here carrying a bunch of nonsense in my hands. But no, I went to the gym the other day for the first time in a while, and I did shoulders, and my right arm is killing me.
It sounds like you're carrying the load imbalanced. Why would your right arm be killing you?
I have no idea. You know what it is? It's probably because I did more reps. That's probably the reason why. Probably cheated out on my left arm, and my left arm is going to look deformed now because it look all meek and all small. On my right arm, it's going to be all swole because it hurts. I can do a lot. I can freaking tighten my left hand. I try to tighten my right arm. I want to cry.
Well, I think your right arm's already pretty jacked over your left arm just from your nightly activities. You didn't like that one?
I don't know about the stranger though. The stranger. Sometimes you gotta use a different hand.
I gotcha. Hope. We're joined by Hope. What are your thoughts on the stranger, Hope?
The stranger? Well, the stranger isn't a switch. It's your arm needs to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then you can go next level. What you do, it's called the granny stranger.
Okay.
You soak your hand in water.
Yeah.
And then you make it fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then,
Do your business.
get it done.
Nice. I like the granny stranger. Never heard that one before. Hey, so how's it going, Hope? Can you introduce yourself a little bit? Maybe give your background or your affiliation with Madden. Plug yourself, of course. Your Twitter, whatnot, Twitch.
On Twitch, I'm hold_fast_hope. You'll see me like EA stream and stuff like that. And then on Twitter, I'm at Hope Twitch. EA Gamechanger, part of the stream team. That was a thing for a while. Do the MUT cap if you guys ever see that in the game. Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. I've pretty much played Madden my entire life. Like I have like all the games on like the Super Nintendo. But I would say like Madden 15 is when I really got into MUT. And around that time is when I stopped playing NHL competitively, like ESHL. And then it just kind of snowballed.
So I guess like I'm having you on here to talk about the Game Changer program, and you mentioned in the pre-thing we've had Kralo to talk about it, but I kind of want to get your opinion on the Game Changer and the stream team in general. Now I know Jo.'s been I saw some drama there, like the stream team earlier this year, like EA wasn't supporting you and wasn't giving you guys cards, and what's your thoughts on the stream team and where is it at right now? And all that good stuff.
It's tough because I think it's a really good idea. I think when you have the right group of guys contributing to some sort of team aspect, I mean, we were pumping like it was almost 60 hours last year per week between, I don't have a hard number, 12 guys or so.
Okay.
Which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then this year, I think it just really slowed down in terms of support. To me, it's not really about like getting cards, but it's about showing support in other ways. Last year, this year a little bit. Last year we had loading screens, which was nice. The guys were really into that. They were into like really being on the game, and we had was it the games between us? If you remember that with the coin ups last year.
Yeah.
This year, not so much. We had like draft champions. If you match up with us, you get Odell Beckham.
Yep.
And stuff like that.
Yep.
So this year, it really scaled back overall.
No, I do think.
And as for,
go on.
I can't tell you why. I don't know. I think it's tough to kind of place like a numeric value because I think most companies are like analytically driven. So I think it's hard to put numerical value on a stream team.
Yeah. So is it just like done completely?
Not really. I think I talked to S. Gibbs is kind of quote unquote like our boss, sort of, or was. He was the one that created it. I talked to him recently. I think the idea is to kind of revisit the goals and the ideas, because I think at first it was about like trying to just have a ton of content on one channel where it's like it's always 24/7, almost like almost like a TV channel. And then I want to say, like, this year it kind of leaned more towards trying to help have EA like kind of elevate us in terms of like the community and, you know, gain more influence that way.
Did that work? Did they elevate you well enough in your opinion?
I guess it depends on what your goal was. If your goal was to get partnered, like if last year, if your goal was to get partnered, you probably weren't going to do that streaming not on your channel.
Okay.
This year, I think if I was more into it, I mean, technically, like Kralo's Twitch channel is on the front page of Madden. JO's channel, because that's where we do the MUT cap, is on the front page of Madden instead of the EA channel. So, I'd say overall probably not.
Okay.
Probably not enough.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, you have so many guys that want so much, and not even talking about just the stream team. I mean, you have like all the Gamechangers, and then you have all of the, you know, bigger influencers in the community as well.
A lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Texas, what's your opinion on the stream team and what EA was trying to do with that and promote people on Twitch that way?
I found it interesting, trying to get people to basically go to one channel, one-stop shop for all their information. And they actually, I know Code was a part of the stream team at one point, and a lot of other guys I knew were a part of this. And it seemed like a cool idea, trying to get, like, instead of having people on YouTube who are doing things you don't want to, get a group of people that you're supporting in order to help them gain notoriety in the community and put a spotlight on what they're doing already. So I found it interesting. I don't know why they stopped it. I thought it was a good idea. I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all got a little bit of like some benefits that were worth the payment. I'm pretty sure, I don't think they paid y'all in like actual like money, but you probably got like other stuff that actually helped you with your Madden stuff. So it's like, it was a kind of a cool trade-off. So I really enjoy that aspect of it, but I don't know why they decided to not do it this year, or not, basically, because it was going good. You can't just start something and not finish it. Like, they just basically ended it for no reason.
It definitely does feel like EA does that quite a bit though. Like, they'll start things like these really cool ideas, and then they don't have like the follow through. Like the Ranku program, I know that was a thing a couple years ago. Then the guy that did the Ranku program left, and all of a sudden it's like, well, you know, you creators that we did have under our thumb, now it's kind of like, you're drifting off to the wind now. So now they all went under the Big Daddy coin seller, and EA kind of lost their grip on them. It feels like. So it's interesting that they, I don't know, I don't want to say it's like a thing for EA to do, but it just go on.
I think in like with the Ranku program, you're talking about a guy who, like, I don't know anything about it. In terms of like who did it or whatever, but if it was somebody that one guy created and then he got to move up or on, you know, there's nobody else to shoulder that responsibility. Partially, you know, when the stream team was first started, like Gibbs was there like every day talking to us, like, you guys are doing a great job. Dudes in the office actually are like really impressed. You guys are, you know, following through and you know, getting followers on the channel too, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, now Gibbs is doing commentary. You know, he casts the games and whatever else comes with that. I don't know. But now, you know, it's too much on his plate at that point. So I think that's probably why your guys have these great ideas and then they get started, and then, you know, inside
it's no longer
EA, they're like, EA, they're like, wow, you're good at what you're doing. Let's get you to do something. You know, let's take you a step up.
Yeah, it makes sense. So you're saying
people do that stuff as well, because like I know people. I've probably heard this analogy before about people who are really good at sales and they take them from sales and put them as a manager of sales.
Yeah,
It's like kind of how EA does. It seems like, or the guy will leave and then they just don't have that guy train somebody else what he was doing. That seems kind of.
Yeah, I mean, from what I know, man, like all these guys that are on Twitter from EA, I think there is a lot on their plate, and that, you know, trying to get individual conversations with them is definitely difficult because they're balancing so much. I mean, I like a guy like AJ, no idea like what his job entails. I just know that he's literally always busy. Same thing with Gibbs.
I don't trust people who are always busy, because you can find time. I'm just saying. You're always busy.
I mean, like during work hours, right? During work hours, I see a huge difference. I suppose
his job
Gibbs
is a community. What is it, community manager? But I don't see him managing no community. So how are you always busy? I'm just saying.
I don't know. I think it's more. I think that everything like in the business setting like that, it's job title doesn't necessarily mean exactly what you're doing. Not that he doesn't manage the community. Every combo I've had with AJ has been like he's incredibly nice.
Yeah, that's what I hear too. That's what I hear as well. I remember when Volts went down there and he called AJ a dick on Twitter, and AJ was just nice to him. And
He
so, like,
really
he's
is nice. Like in my experience, man, like everybody truly is nice. Seriously, like that. I mean, I get it that it's like, oh man, EA Game Changer saying all these guys are nice, but I mean, in my experience, I haven't really had a bad experience with any of them. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so basically what you're saying is like they get the job creep and they get promoted. Isn't that the what the heck's that law called? You get promoted to the level of your incompetence. But you're also saying like Gibbs that you did the stream team. You're saying competitive Madden ruined the stream team is what you're basically what you're getting at.
No,
because he became an announcer for competitive Madden. Therefore he had less time for you.
No, I mean I actually really love competitive Madden. I know you guys talked about it a little bit about it last week. Last week?
We've talked about it quite a bit on a lot of podcasts. Yeah.
Man, I will say, is that like you guys? I think one of the things that I hear a lot is competitive Madden ruined MUT.
I don't remember saying that, but
I've seen it.
You've seen it before?
Yeah. I mean, no, I shouldn't say ruined MUT. They catered too much to the competitive players this year.
Definitely.
Yeah, it depends on what your definition of too much is.
Well, okay, that's I don't know. I mean, you tell me, because that seems to be. I mean, I hear it enough, and I mean, I look at the gameplay, and I'm like, that's not necessarily competitive. Like, it doesn't seem competitive based.
What gameplay?
So I guess in terms of like how Madden plays. So you know how interactions are.
Oh, like random interactions.
Yeah, and stuff like that. To me, that isn't necessarily competitive because it's
football, like fumbles. There's fumbles in Madden, so that's not competitive.
Yeah, inconsistencies, drop picks and stuff like that, drop racks, stuff that's so out of your control.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I think the funny thing is about you say that like drop racks. Like everybody's asking for drop racks, and it's only competitive guys. Like, no, nobody wants drop racks. Like Rex tried to get that out of the game, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
Like so, it's
that's a big thing. That's the one thing that I noticed between like the sim community and the competitive community and wherever you fall on that spectrum is like from what I've seen, like everybody wants the same thing, but you're just calling it different things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think we're
so.
on the
I
same
don't know. That's been my observation over the past like 2 years.
I mean, there's a few things that I think that the competitive community wants that we've talked. Who was it that we were talking a couple weeks back with Texas that we said that the perfect solution for this is. Salary cap's a competitive mode. So what you do in salary cap is cater to the competitive players. You put in no fumbles except for user hit sticks. You put in no drop picks, even though that gets rid of the catching rating in game. Like I think that you need drop picks. It sucks, but if like I'm usering Vince Wilfork out there, I should drop a pick with him, even if I'm using him in the regular mode. In salary cap, I don't think that if they don't want it, they don't want it. Take it out.
Right. You're talking about competitive
things that
settings.
You can do in those competitive modes.
Change the environment. If they gotta play normal like everybody else does to qualify, then they get down there and play a different game build. Make it happen. Like it's anything that's Call of Duty does that. Just try to restrict what you don't want in there. All the randomness. Because random is what it makes the game fun, but it also kind of can just ruin people's moods. Like the randomness of that guy losing $20,000 because this guy muffs a punt. Like that's heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, totally.
But it can happen in real life, but this is a video game. I don't want things that could happen in real life to happen in a video game. A lot of things happen in real life that you won't see in this video game ever.
Yeah, and
so linemen in real life block, and it matter they don't block. How about we just make them not? Like, so it's just I don't know what.
Yeah, so I mean, like what you're saying, like at the end of the day, you just want like things to make sense. Mm-hmm. That to me is like exactly what the competitive community is saying, but just differently. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely different things that they want in the game that I don't think's healthy for the online environment. Like Like earlier this year, Joke said we should get rid of blocking on the online ladder because people have me blocked because I'm so high in the rankings. And it's like, I hated that as a non-competitive player that they got rid of that blocking feature, because I don't want to play against guys that are either going to delay the game, DC, glitch me, swerve me constantly. That's like field goal block. Remember when that was a huge thing for, I don't know, a month or something? In between patches when there's huge issues like that, and there's huge issues like that every year, I want the ability to say, I don't want to match up with this guy that's going to field goal block me. Whereas in the competitive community, I had a talk with Matster on Twitter at the time. I'm like, so you're not gonna try and find a fix or a way to beat the field goal block? He's like, no, it's not allowed anyway, so I don't really care. So they were catering to the competitive community for that, but the rest of us were kind of left out in the cold, dealing with field goal blockers for a month because it didn't affect the online ladders.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think they probably need to look at separating it a little bit more. I do think competitive settings are the way to kind of please everybody. And like, I'm fine with MUT not being the same gameplay wise as like salary cap or DC or, you know, whatever kind of competitive mode that they come up with.
Yeah, I think we all can agree that DC should not be a competitive mode.
I think it could be so good. I think it could be so good. And I think you need DC too, because for salary cap, I mean, you like, are you going to play a bunch of solos and build your team? Like, how are you going to buy packs? Like, to me, like, if I was competing, I mean, I'm done competing in video games. Like, I'm old enough now that I'm like, oh, you know, I'm not as quick as I was. So like, to me, like, it's mine. I understand why they don't like DC. I think it could be like an amazing game mode. It really needs like just needs tuned a little bit. I would like to see maybe like, you know, just get rid of team playbooks. And then what you do is you have EA and you have the competitive players essentially put together, you know, 3 to 6 playbooks. So that way it's not about having your playbook. That makes sense, because it leans so heavy every year. It leans so heavy on like five playbooks or so, because of just how the game plays. So that way, and every month, I'd like to see maybe you update. Like, how cool would it be this year if they did that, and then on defense they're like, wow, everybody's running nickel blitz. You know, we'll just take nickel out completely. And then you'll see guys who can come up with something else. And then maybe you'll see dollar cross mail out. They're like, okay, you know what? Nobody runs dollar. We took that out. Show us something else. I think that to me is that it's not the most ideal competitive as it gets, but I think it has like a different skill set. I think flexibility is like a skill set that DC tries to be, but it just doesn't translate well enough.
Texas, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, because like I've been saying for a while, like I kind of want to see them take out some things that haven't put the game straight up, because when you're playing a game with your friends and you know you can like cheese them, but you just gonna play fair, like it's a fun game. Like, you know, you can come out here and run some nickel blitz and sack every single play, get to the quarterback, force fumble, like all that nonsense. But like sometimes you're just playing straight up games. The games are just so much more. So they're just better, in my opinion. And I would like to see like games like that where it's like it's basically like they're playing for the first time and they're not running any of this spam stuff. Because DC can do that to make it a little bit more competitive. Because I don't mind the randomness of the picks, even though it kind of sucks if you don't get like a good receiver or a good running back. But as MUT, none of these ratings actually really matter that much. So I just think that I would like to see what he was suggesting, like taking some of these plays out, adding some of these different plays that people haven't ran before, just to see how these guys who are supposed to be the best of the best adapt to what they're facing.
Yeah, it's all well and good. It depends on how they do the playbooks, of course. I like the idea. I think it's a great idea. If they do the playbooks that like people can get their individual schemes in, like what I didn't like about the DC tournament is that you saw a lot of like the bunch schemes, whereas like in the salary cap tournament when guys can use their own playbooks, you saw a variety of different schemes. You saw people run jumbo, but whereas in like the DC, it's just like a bunch of people running bunch, and it's like, oh, so we're just watching the guys play the same like basically game.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's always a complaint though. I think Madden's always. The compressed formations are always so powerful, just because of how the game mechanics work. So, I mean, if these guys didn't use bunch in DC, then that would be like, that would be stupid, because you're not, you're supposed to be the best. You don't fight the game. You play to the game's strengths.
Yeah. So I think that's more of the EA developers things than the guys themselves, than the competitive guys themselves. But anyways, I think we we covered the stream team well enough. But I want to hear about your job as a game changer. Now, what do you exactly do as a game changer?
For me, I gather feedback that I see, and then I just kind of send it in. I think Krayla kind of went over it much better detail, because I'm still pretty new, and it's still like, it seems like a kind of slow moving program in terms of like getting acclimated.
Is there like a website that you go to?
I think there may or may not be groups located on different websites to provide feedback. But I just hit them up in the DMs.
Oh, I gotcha. So I listen to you in the DMs, huh? So when you
Yeah,
get
sometimes.
when you get a little sauced late at night, just say, "Hey Rex, when's that swerve? When's that fix coming?"
Maybe.
Nice.
Just get sauced and slide into everybody at EA's DMs.
I can see that conversation go well. Yeah, they get it on Monday. They're like,
They would. I'm sure I would get a message back saying we've removed you, and I would be blocked and taken out back. But the Game Changer program, to me, it's broken up. I mean, there's guys that are CFM oriented, guys that are just pure gameplay. I think they're kind of starting like a competitive division, which is good because they haven't had that for years. I know that's probably for like a lot of more casual guys. That's kind of like scary, but I think competitive settings alone could honestly solve most issues between the communities. Obviously, you're still gonna have like gameplay issues.
Oh yeah,
a lot of gonna be a thing.
Like you said earlier, a lot of the issues that we have as regular players, competitive guys are also complaining about. But I got a question with that. So which one are you? Which?
For me, it's MUT. I give Gibbs a ton of feedback for like the competitive presentation and everything like that.
Okay.
I think this year they've done a little bit better job of like building up the individual players, because who is like Serious Mo, who like everybody knows Problem because he's the most famous competitive player, but these other guys still need stories. And I think from 16 to 17 they did a really good job, because I was like Gibbs, nobody knows who Stiff is. Like, why the hell should I care about Stiff? I think they did a good job of there's that kind of silly The Mean Streets of Lima with Mo and stuff like that. They did Mad in America. So I think they're doing a much better job, because you want people to get to know the players, and you want people to care and get fans and everything like that.
Yeah, I get
just all of it to grow.
Yeah. So do you think Peter Moore left? Do you think competitive Madden is going to be what it is next year, what it was this year?
Ooh.
Texas, if you want to answer first, you can.
If they keep putting money behind it, I think this is gonna keep getting bigger. Like, I feel like they're gonna keep. It's gonna be. I don't think it can go. I don't think that it's gonna peak eventually, but like it's probably gonna be better. It's gonna be more competition next year if the money keeps growing.
I get you. So you think because like I draw parallels with the Ranku program that you talked about earlier. Like the guy left, and all of a sudden, like, well, it's not my job. So I could see it.
There's too much money in this instance for them to just wrap it up. The Ranku program was not really making EA any money. More so when they're spending it on other content creators. Like, it's more so like an investment, whereas this one is actually bringing in dollars, sponsors, commercials, and merchandise, all this stuff that EA's brand publicity that EA loves. So like it's just a little bit different. So I would think that if the money stays, if the money goes down from $1 million next year or this year to 500,000, then you might see a huge drastic change. But if it goes up next year, that's going to bring a lot more heads around.
Hope, have you heard anything about? I've heard about the 32 man tournaments, or the 32 teams getting back into that that club series, whatever. All of them getting into it. Have you heard any dollar amount changes for next year yet?
No, I mean, I don't know anything like that. Like, I think people think that I have like inside info on like Madden 18 and stuff, but I don't.
Well, you got to get on that, man. You're just talking about how often you slide into DMs, slide into theirs, and slide into mine and Texas's.
No, but to answer your question, since if Peters Moore left, is it still going to be a thing? I think so, and I think it's not mostly, but I think it's also the NFL wants it. Because I think the NFL has a lot of control. The NFL has a lot of influence. I mean, this is still, this is Madden is part of NFL's brand.
Yep.
So I mean, that's probably you don't see guys' helmets pop off because I'm sure the NFL's like, nope, don't put that in there.
Yep, exactly.
Stuff like that. So yeah, I think so. And the 32 teams, I think I like the club series. I think it's a good idea. Because a lot of these guys, only some of them have orgs, and only like a couple have. I'm not gonna call them legit, but bigger organizations like Luminosity's in there. I know T-Raw was signed with Rise. If I've seen them in Halo, then I give them a little bit more props. But there's a lot of new orgs that some of these guys are signing with, and I kind of wonder like what does your contract look like?
I get you. She thinks some of them might be getting ripped off.
I think it's possible. It happens in every game.
It happens in every labor market too.
Yeah, that too. I mean, that's just when there's money involved, there's obviously going to be shady individuals trying to take advantage of whomever.
Yeah. Hey, Texas, what do you think about people signing or competitive Madden players signing with teams?
Like NFL teams?
No, like competitive teams and they're taking like doing contracts.
So I only know two of them. Like, so I just know I just know like is Optica team. I don't really know about that scene, so much so. But like if they want to sign, they can do that. Right? Can build their own brand.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do at the end of the day. So if it helps them build their brand, which is something that even though you said earlier EA is doing a good job, I still don't know half these guys that are competing in some of these tournaments. So if these guys are signing with these clubs that are helping them build their marketability and their revenue, like that's a good idea. Like that's what they should probably end up doing. Because at the end of the day, like it's all about you. Like you can keep playing these tournaments and winning, but like when those go away, like all that's gonna be left is you. So try to get as much money as you can while you can.
Yeah, I think EA did a really good job this year with the formats of the tournaments, like especially this last tournament, because it's going to be just guys who did really well in the first tournaments. So like if you heard their name a couple months ago as doing well, like getting first, second, third, fourth, whatever in a tournament, you're gonna hear their name again. So repetition breeds memory or some shit like that. So I think it's a good job of them, reinforcing the names that we've all heard before, like Dubby and Serious Mo and Problem. I think Mo was in it, right? The final tournament.
I think Mo's. Yeah, Mo's there.
So that's pretty nice. So I don't know. I guess let's move on to the draft promo. I think anything else you want to talk about with Gamechangers, Texas?
How do you get chosen? Because it seems like the process is kind of random. Like, is it like somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, or is it more so just luck of the draw? Like it's like serendipity, where like it just happens.
Man, I don't know. For me, I feel like it was luck of the draw. Like I like. I owe a lot to Gibbs personally, just for what he's done to me, like Gibbs and Farrells, for how much that they've, taken time out of their day to help me and answer like 2 trillion questions about Madden and, God knows what else. Overall, though, I don't really know. I don't know how people are selected. I think they used to have like a form that you could fill out and submit, and then they would look at that. But if that's something that people want to get into, the best thing that you can have just in life in general, but especially if you want to be a game changer, is just influence from wherever, YouTube, Twitch, something. Make yourself valuable.
Yeah. What if I got pretty good influence with my mother? Does that help? Can I get in?
Maybe.
Nice. That's awesome. Me and her get along pretty well. Texas, anything else? So, like, Texas, I think your main complaint, and I've seen this on Twitter, that like they just choose these random people that like don't actually deserve it. Is that it?
Well, it's not that they don't deserve it. I don't know what they did or didn't do to not deserve it. Like, I'm not gonna get into this competition like who deserves what. Like, I don't think Donald Sterling deserves his fortune, but he has it. So it is what it is.
Isn't it? Wait. The guy that's dead?
Donald Sterling? He's alive. He's
he's alive. He used to be the Clippers owner.
Yeah, the Clippers owner that had that racist outburst against Magic Johnson, but also was like at the forefront of housing discrimination up in Chicago. Like, I don't think that guy deserves his wealth, but he has it, so it is what it is. But like, I just want to know like the whole process. I know some people who want to be game changers don't end up getting it. It's just like, what do they got to do in order to maybe get this? Because some people like GutFoxx is wholesome. GutFoxx don't sell out to no coin sponsor. And it took like 7 hours on Twitter one day just spamming Rex GutFoxx's name for him to check out his channel. So I just want to know the process of like what happens there. So it's not like who deserves what. I just want to know like who, like how do we get people to see other people's work that are doing that can be provided for that EA can actually use down there.
Shit, I don't know. I wish I knew.
I don't know.
I mean, seriously, I wish I knew. Like,
I don't think anybody.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is like honestly just trying to help out people and enjoy life and all that fun stuff, but.
Good goals, right?
Do you feel you get unfairly targeted as a game changer?
Oh yeah, when things are bad, dude. Okay, you remember that Elite Exchange set where it was like I can't remember the specifics.
And you banned all of us.
yeah. I went down to Orlando and I clicked on a bunch of names.
Yeah, thanks for that.
And I saw on Twitter like MUT is having issues and Game Changers are silent. I'm like I wrote up my Twitter. I'm not even home. I'm like, geez, like I'm not even home. Like, what the hell's going on? Mm-hmm. Like, how the hell? Like, why am I getting blamed? I literally did nothing.
Well, I mean, you're the one on Twitter to blame, right? Like, you guys are the voices of the community.
I guess, but it's like I'm personally not home. Like, what do you want me to do?
You're a GC. You got to be on Twitter all the damn time. Answer all the questions.
I try to be. Like, I know it's like. Damn, man. Like, it's tough. Unfairly targeted, though. That stuff like that kind of ruffles my feathers a little bit, for sure. And I would say, like, man, I've had many conversations with guys where, like, we're talking about the game. Like, they're giving me their issues. And, like, I feel like I'm not, like, defending anything. And they're like, whatever, dude. You're a fucking game changer. And then they're just like, combo's done. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, oh, all right, man. Like,
right there. Good talk. Appreciate you listening to what I had to say.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like, maybe they've had previous experiences with game changers or whatever that didn't go well, or maybe they're just venting, which I get. But like, damn, like I feel bad that like you're that miserable and like that pissed off, and like at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help you.
Hey. This question just kind of popped in my head. How much of this game do you think is the game mechanics? Like Texas said earlier, like when you're playing with a bunch of friends, it's a lot more fun when you can punch the guy for running nickel blitz the whole game. So how much of it is it like the game mechanics, and how much is it like the online ladder and the guys that you play against kind of ruining your experience by doing crappy things? Hope.
It's tough for me. I never really get mad. Like, to me, since I played NHL competitively for like 5 years or something. And then before that, like I would do Halo, go to Halo LANs and stuff like that. So for me, naturally, like I'm a competitive guy. Like that's how I am. Like I've always been pretty good at video games. So nothing that people do really makes me upset. Like even in 15 when they were spamming PA end around,
Yeah, that was bad.
But for a lot of the community, like I would guess a lot of guys, like I kind of have a theory that maybe a lot of people shouldn't be playing the game online. Like maybe you just shouldn't be playing another human that's trying to win at all costs.
I get you. I get that makes sense. Texas, what do you think?
It has to be a combination of that, and also because nobody's gonna want to get into a fight. Like nobody's gonna want to fight over this because, like I said, if you're with your friend, he's doing some annoying shit, you just don't give him the controller next time, or you say, "Yo, if you do this shit, we done playing." That's how that goes. Because when I'm playing subs, I have a more fun time playing subs because they're not spamming nonsense blitzes. Like it's so enjoyable. I'm over here running the play. I'm not doing anything cheesy. They're just playing just to beat me, and they're not doing all that nonsense stuff. So I think. It's just with the stakes that's involved, it just kind of ruins like how it's going on. I don't think EA ever thought they would be doing all these patches into the game in 2005 because dudes is out here doing a bunch of spam blitzes and shit. I think if you go back in time, like back in 10 years from now, this game is going to be patched 14,000 times because dudes is out here just flirting all these scumbag blitzes and just ruining what your work is because. At the end of the day, those guys work hard to make this game the way it is. It's kind of copy-paste for the most part. But when somebody breaks something and they got to fix it, it causes issues for everybody. So if everybody just played the game the way it was intended to be played, I don't think it would have mattered. But dudes be out here trying to win all that damn money. So they'll go do something that's not cheating, but it's also not like accepted in a sense.
Yeah, I get you.
It's like
that makes sense. Yeah.
It's like getting Tommy John surgery before you get injured, or getting LASIK surgery. Like that's acceptable form of cheating, but don't you take steroids? That's kind of how that goes with Madden guys over here.
I get you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I would generally agree with that. I think a lot of like you said. I have nothing to add to that. Let's move on to the draft promo. So we got these draft guys this week with the sets. Texas, do you kind of want to do the breakdown on it? I didn't do any of the solos, and I haven't done any of the sets. Do you want to break it down for us?
Okay. So I was out when this came out, and I probably shouldn't play the solo. I didn't know anything about it until after I played the solo challenges. But so EA dropped this draft promo over here in this game where if you correctly, where you basically you can predict where a player is going to get drafted. So I'm not too sure how many draft prospects there are over here in this game, but my guess is there's a lot. And you can put each one of those into a set, and up to 32 teams, obviously, for the first round picks. And if you guess the most right, you get a Cam Newton. If you guess 16 right, you get 250,000 coins. And then the breakdown goes as follows. So it's pretty cool if you are knowing where guys are going to go. This is why this is an issue. Last year, I think Mel Kiper, who does this shit all the damn time for the past 20 years, got 5 picks right out of 32.
Yes.
And so EA expects us, the Madden people, to know who's going to go where than these guys who are quote unquote experts. And it's just kind of cool. Okay, it makes sense. So, but I thought you can get Cam Newton. So I thought a guy that got 10 picks right can get Cam Newton. Nope, you had to get 16 picks or more right in order to get Cam Newton.
Well, I think as long as you're number one, you get Cam Newton.
Yeah.
So
and you could be tied. I mean, you could be tied with.
Well, I heard you had to get over 16 correct. So basically,
it's just by most.
By most, so 3 is gonna be probably the most you'll see.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Mel Kiper kind of sucks, man. Like,
well, a lot of those draft guys suck. I mean, if you go look at the numbers across the board, I think Deadspin does a great breakdown of how many they got right this year. It's like 2017 breakdown, and there's like one guy got 8 right, and then somebody got 0. Or
I've seen I've seen like 12 at the high end.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool how that stuff goes, but it's just I don't know why EA thinks that was the way to go about this, because there's so many guys that we don't know who was going to go. Yeah, picks that can be traded, and it's just like I understand they want us to get us involved in doing this, but then the draft collectibles, like you got to trade them. So even if you know where a guy's going to go, and you don't got him, you have to trade for him. And so I'm cool with them using the trade block because I think it's the only time this shit trade block's been used for a promo. So it's cool that they're using it, but like if you want to get Christian McCaffrey and a guy doesn't want to give him to you for that silver card, you might get an elite player up for him, and then you still might not go with the team where you think he might go. So it's a weird promo for them to roll out, especially when everybody like the reward is kind of unattainable in a sense.
Yeah, Hope, any thoughts?
I mean, I think if you guess like 16 of them right, I think you should call ESPN and tell them.
Right? Yeah, I feel like, that's if you get that
sure.
right, dog, you get a job at ESPN for life.
For me personally, ridiculous. Like I love the idea. I think it's great. There's also gonna be a set Cam Newton, so it's not like the Cam Newton. I don't know if it's the exact same. I have no idea. I don't even know if they mentioned that it's the exact same. I can't imagine that the set's gonna have Gunslinger and Conductor, but I guess it's possible. I like the idea, but I think the breakdown is kind of quite a bit. And I mean, I guess if you correctly guess the 32nd pick, you get 15K. Like if you hit some of these later picks, I mean, that's,
Yeah, it's a cool concept.
That's a pretty good concept. Yeah.
It's just like, it's just stupid though. Like you can give us the coin. It's like they're taunting us. Like this stuff's not gonna happen. It's like in the Super Bowl, like 2 years ago when it said if the safety happens, 100,000 coins. They didn't think the safety was gonna happen. So I get 100,000 coins. They don't think you're gonna correctly guess the 32nd pick. Nobody don't think that for 1 second. It's just out there just to be out there.
I think what bothers me with the promo is that like getting like the surefire number 1 Myles Garrett is difficult. And like I wonder if it was more about like testing, like is the community going to use the trade block? Because I know we're going to talk about the AMA.
Yeah.
And then they talked a little bit about the trade block and stuff like that. So I wonder if they're trying to gauge stuff for next year.
The real trade block usage versus the crappy stuff. But we'll get to that in a second.
I wish I would have put my Myles Garrett on the trade block. I pulled him.
What do you think you would have gotten?
Probably 9 overall something. Dude's crazy. Because there's no way you can get those cards, right? The only way you can get those cards is by playing solo challenges, correct?
I think
those
packs. Yeah.
They're also in packs. I pulled one.
Pro packs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also an exchange set if you get like multiples of
Those
the same dude.
Those have driven up prices of the silver badges. So if you guys have any of those, definitely sell right now.
Oh, Liddy, I was gone for that long. Yeah, some badges and sets. Damn, I need to go back on MUT and check some things out.
Yeah, I was kind of lying when I said don't know what this promo is. I would agree with Hope that I like the idea of us trying to predict it. I kind of like I did a pool in the past with buddies where we try to break down and predict who has the most picks right. It wasn't the most fun pool, but it's still, I think it's a cool idea. I like that they're trying new things and like it's nice, but I would definitely agree with the fact that Texas says it's kind of. It's really weird how they make us we're not able to get all of them unless it's hard to get all the picks. So I can't take a shot at Garrett without having some sort of luck or buying a lot of packs. So maybe a guaranteed way of getting them would be my bet.
I mean,
but then
it would have been better if they want us to correctly predict. Give us all the players that we think are going to go. Like how many players think there actually are in this, because this is why the draft is so fucking annoying. It's so like it's just so hard to predict. You don't know what teams are gonna do. So if a person was gonna take this guy, he's not there anymore, they might take a guy early. So how many players are actually in the game they are guaranteed first round picks? Probably 4, maybe 5.
What?
So like it's just guaranteed first round picks?
You think there's only 4 or 5?
There's probably like
surefire hits, because teams be reaching. Like I remember like last year, a lot of guys that you thought were gonna be going in the second round went first.
Yeah. Okay.
And so like you just never know. Like it's just so interesting. You can look at the mock drafts and all that, and it's just impossible to predict. And if they wanted us to be able to do this, maybe have us like, I don't know, we could do something. It could have been with MUT, because it could like maybe email them who we think is going to go where. But it just seems like in Madden, it's going to be a guy that gets drafted 10 overall that it's not even in the game. Because it happened back in Madden 13, I think, with Lane Johnson, number 1 overall. But like they had to add him retroactively because he wasn't in the game originally.
I
just don't like the way the setup.
I get it. Yeah, they are going to be rigid. The Darius Hayward Bays, the kind of.
Yeah, it's the stuff that you just can't predict, and it's just like, come on, EA. I understand that this is kind of a cool thing for somebody that gets. So if somebody does get a Cam Newton for getting 7 picks right, that's cool. I was told it's only you got to get 16 or more right.
16 for the maximum reward, coin reward.
Okay. So all right, that's good. So it's gonna be cool. Somebody who's gonna be getting a non-optional Cam Newton for getting 7 picks right. That's awesome. But other than that, I think this is kind of just a waste of time.
I think there's also a second half to the promo.
Well, yeah, it's gonna happen Thursday, which is gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think there's.
But this first half is terrible. We're judging that right now. We won't be able to discuss the second half until next podcast.
Right.
So let's move on. Let's transition to our last topic, the AMA that went on today. We're recording Tuesday. The AMA that went on today with the EA Sports guy. MUT Crew stopped in, Jake Stein, and Tom, I forgot his last name. Lischke. There it is. Tom Lischke. There it is. Of
course the GC will know his last name.
Yeah. Got the inside info. Yeah, he's got that inside info about the last names. So I kind of want to just go like one by one down my page. That might be too intense and too long. But that's what she said, and we'll just start it until we get bored of doing this. So the first one, it's actually my question from the previous. They said they put this out yesterday, and then I asked a question. So the top one is, I'd like to hear what the process for choosing the bundle toppers are. Spoiler alert, they did not answer that part of the question. Are you satisfied with the way chemistry turned out? Also, did you like the way the player ratings and upgrades to those ratings were handled this year? So for the chemistry, they basically said they liked it and they didn't like some parts of it. They talked about the team chemistries and how people said those, like some people hated the team chemistry and the promo chemistries. And so like they talked about having them being additive next year. Now we've talked about this on the podcast before, and I'm always ripping off content and from Texas and whatnot and just posting it as my own thoughts. So Texas, I want to hear what your thoughts about the team chems just being kind of like on top of like the gold chems. So like they'd have 2 gold chems next year, and then all in addition to the team chems and like a promo chem. What do you think about that, Texas?
It's great. We've been wanting a team chem for the longest time. When they first introduced chemistry, we were like, was Mad 25? We wanted like, how come we can't get because this is when I start realizing how come Kuechly is like run stuff in this and Thomas Davis is not linking up with Kuechly. So when you got guys that can just link up with players that you already have, players you're using a lot of, that's already just on the card, that is huge, especially with the way chemistry is going this year. So now an all Broncos team, instead of having Denver Kim as his one main, Kim is already going to be there. So now I can have two different ones. He said it's going to be dope. It's about damn time. Took him 3 years, but I mean, it's better late than never.
Yeah. Hope, what are your thoughts?
I like the. I mean, I get it, but like I'm a game changer. I like the honesty that they said that they weren't like, well, golly gee, the chemistries were great and we loved them all. Like I appreciate the honesty that they're like some hit, some missed.
You want to take a guess at which one's missed?
Yeah, the team chems. I did a post on Twitter about like, those pass balance, like those gray chems. Those are actually like really powerful. And they would be like super powerful now. I think Jake Stein said to me, he was like, they were only intended to be like starter chems or whatever, but like, man, I feel like all these cards should look like that Antonio Brown and that Jadeveon Clowney with like 4 chems on them now. Like that's where I thought it was going, but it's kind of not.
Yeah, it seems like they were building up to like these big cards, and like you say, but they've kind of trailed off. So would you say the ones that fell flat most were the promo chems, Hope?
Yeah, I think so. I think the complaints about it locks your team in too much are definitely valid.
Because they mentioned in the post that maybe there was too many chems, and they've talked a lot about the office about having fewer chems next year. Do you guys Texas? I want to hear what you have to say. Do you think there were too many chemistries this year, or do you think do you want more or less? You're kind of like the chemistry master on YouTube.
Yeah. I want more, honestly. I don't think there's too few. I think they probably did too much like boosting with some things. But like I really want more chemistries going into next year's Madden, just because there's only a few good ones that you want to use, obviously. So if they add more, maybe it could be different types of variety of play. Because the reason why chemistries are like a thing this year is because they wanted people to have different varieties of teams, as opposed to last year, everybody just had the same team, right? Ran the same overpowered players, and just because those are players to use. This year, you start seeing different varieties in teams. So the more chemistries will be what breed more variety, I would think. And with team chems, if those are going to be additive next year, they can add a different chem. So like it's not going to be a team chem and IB or a team chem and Filger. It'll just be probably something else as well they can add on to that. But I like the chemistry reason for like just for team building and all that stuff. And hopefully they don't remove all, because the promo chems, like I said, they weren't terrible. But it's just only the good players had like none of the like terrible players you wanted to use, like the gold players and the low base deletes. Nobody wanted to use those. The high end players are way too expensive, and at the end of the day, it wasn't really worth getting 10 players in your lineup to get it active. That's the reason why it sucked. You can get all the other chemistries active with 4 players. With team chems, 5 players, that times 2. But with the promo chems for tier 2, 10 players is just way too much. And then they start doing it on offense and defense. I think that's why we hated it so much. It wouldn't have been as bad if it was like kind of how Super Bowl promo was, where it was passed on both offense and defense. But some of the promo chems, I think Freeze was one of them. Freeze defense, Freeze offense. And I think with Thanksgiving, it was separated. So I think that's why people hated it, because like now I got to have my entire offense for Thanksgiving, whereas it could have been a combination of 5 players on offense or 6 players on offense, 4 players on defense.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl promo chem we didn't like because it was like past and like it was split up half and half anyway, so it's still hard to get it without having many of the good players. Also a lot of the players were, but it was on both offense and defense though, which was why like it was pretty easier to get. It was still expensive as hell. That Bob Sanders and the Harrison and all those guys, but it was on both offense and defense, which I think people were more receptive to. People were still actually using that Super Bowl pass chem. Deion Jones maxed out. Or present chem because of the +3 speed boost he got. Oh yeah. That was a very nice card with that boost.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on from chems, they also talked about right in that second part of my question about ratings and upgrades. I'll just go ahead and read it. We made the creative decision to not escalate ratings over 99 this year. Now, okay, Texas, we talked about this on the podcast. Hope, I don't know if you heard this part, but I blame that on Texas and Clickwood for their videos showing that 100 didn't make a difference. So that's on your shoulders. Moving on.
Why it hurts so much.
We did that so we can definitely say what the highest rating in Madden Ultimate Team was. That's why they say they did it. That they could say standing firm at 99 clearly tells you what the best rating MUT is, but as a result, we recrafted the player's overall calculation. So they redid the a logarithm for the overalls. Hindsight is always 2020, but this is one thing I would like to redo for Madden NFL 17. Those changes to the player overall resulted in taking less rating points to bump the players overall. So this is a major focus for how we improve this next year, but the goal is clear. We want players to truly feel like a 2-point overall bump is significant difference in ratings and say goodbye to the +1 bay. So
you're welcome.
The
+1 bay, that's all me.
That is you?
I'm taking credit for that. I put the video out first.
Nice.
Glorious. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry. That's one of the gloat in my success of somebody actually watch one of my videos about the +1 salt bay.
You Texas, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Can you speak louder?
My fault. Sorry, yeah, my fault. I was sitting back in my chair just like smiling and laughing at myself because I'm the reason why the +1 bay was added there. I put a video out like on Twitter a while ago, like when they dropped the Super Bowl promo. They dropped the 89 overall Logan Ryan and they got 91 overall Super Bowl card. It was just all +1s. And at that time, the Salt Bay was trending, so that's all because of me. I just wanted to gloat. I'm sorry. I'll go back to just.
No, I remember that post. It was pretty funny. I liked it. All right, so I then responded, and I got a response back from Jake's 10 after that. I said I think the biggest, the chems question. I just said whatever, and then I responded, but it doesn't matter. I think the big issue with Madden's ratings is that it's on a 99-point scale, and you're only using half of those numbers. A point I've made on the podcast before, and I'm not going to go into more. I also mentioned bundle toppers one more time, but again, wasn't responded to about the bundle topper part. So Jake Stein responded, said, so you wouldn't necessarily have any sticker shock if players who are good enough to play in the NFL have much lower ratings than Madden has typically been comfortable going down to. I responded that David Ortiz, one of the best hitters of our generation, had 1 speed in MLB The Show. So they weren't worried about disrespecting David Ortiz's speed, just like the Madden developers shouldn't be angry about disrespecting Terrence Cody's speed, because Terrence Cody's the slowest guy in MUT at 49 speed. So the fact that they only have like a 50-point rating scale, but they use it out of 100, kind of limits their rating. Hope, what do you think about that?
What do I think about starting guys off at like 40 over 50 overall is like the high end?
Like, no, I mean like, so like the low end players will have ratings at like 10.
What about the high end? You're still going to use like
100,
like
99.
Like start at MUT. Beginning of the year at MUT. Like what's Aaron Rodgers' overall rating?
Aaron Rodgers overall to start at MUT. Well, I'd assume the top end guys would still be high overalls. I haven't thought that far, but I think let's keep him at 88 or something, wherever he started.
Do you think that's too high? Do you think they should just like start where it's like the highest is like 40, 50 or something?
I don't think the top overall guy should be that high for overalls. I'm talking about, see, what I care most about, like, I know a lot of people care about overalls. I focus more on the stats behind the overalls.
Right.
But like the overall calculation, like, what should Aaron Rodgers start at the beginning of 17?
You can still be in that overall.
You're still going to use you're still going to use the. I mean, if you're going to use all the ratings, the 100-point scale, I think it's a really great point too. It's not something that I really thought of. Like, yeah, they're only using half of the attribute scale. Like, I don't know, because you would want it to be like, why would I want to have these terrible players on my team at all? Like, would that create too big of a gap? Because if you're talking like, yo, man, this guy who's like a practice squad dude who's like 10 overall or something, like, is that too big of a gap between him and, like a middle of the road starter?
I mean, it'd be the same as like a bronze team going against a gold team right now. That bronze team's going to get crushed. But just because the gold team's like a 83 overall and the bronze team's like a 63 overall.
I wouldn't mind if they scaled it down even more. Like, they used the scale. They just brought everybody down. They brought like the high end cards down some more. So like near the end of MUT, you're getting like true 99s in terms of like for the year.
Well, I don't even know if they should go that far, because what he said in this post was they wanted to make the +2 rating feel like an actual +2. So maybe they can like better code the game to where like a +1 Excel is more noticeable than. So 90 Excel is better than 90. 91 Excel is better than 90, because you can't tell the difference between that right now. Because I feel like if they adjust the scale, I mean, the overalls go down as well. People complain about, but they make these ratings actually be noticeable on the field. then I think that'd be kind of cool. It's like 96 trucking and 95 trucking aren't the same, because right now I don't know what the difference is between those two ratings, except for the fact that one has a plus, one's a 96, one's 95. But I can't see on the field what the difference is. So maybe they can do stuff like that instead of like lowering the actual overall a lot of these cards down to like 40s and 50s, which will upset a lot of people.
So Tex, like, yeah, it'll be an interesting calculation how they do it. I think the overall it's a tough thing, because a lot of people focus on it. But I think like the average player, the average NFL player in MUT, I think its average overall at the beginning of the year should be 60. And then like the high end guys will be like 80s.
I could dig that.
And then
that also gives like, because the big thing, what he said was the +2 overall is more than just +1s.
Yeah.
So that way they'll be able to increase technically more attributes by a bigger amount and still get like, a large impact.
So like the overall can go up 2 points, but their throw power goes up 10 points.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, that's too far, but for example.
No, they could just, but all it's the algorithm they have is they can just lie, and so I don't know why they don't do that. It's kind of weird how it's so random. Like it doesn't make much sense. They can easily just say this guy's people still complain though. I don't know. I don't know what they can do, because if they want to start off with low overalls, it's not going to work, because MLB The Show works like that because obviously guys can improve, but EA wants to keep dropping content, and so it's kind of between like they want to do this but they can't. Like they're just stuck right now. And I guess it's got to keep going back to the drawing board, figure out what works the best, because there's not really anything that we can suggest to them that would fix this issue.
I don't know. I think they definitely need to change something. Would you agree there, Texas?
Well, they can. I don't know how they would change it. What direction would they go in? Because I mean, if they go in the direction, it'll be the show where Aaron Rodgers ain't that overall year to start the year off with, but he can go down if it's a bad year. If he can go up, his car is dynamic like that.
No, not that way. Not that way.
We'll get less content. I said we'll get less content that way. But then if we go from a guy having like Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has an 84 overall car, but then gets an 86, but has like +5 throw power, I don't know how people will be receptive to that as well. If you see a big noticeable change in that guy's car, but I don't know how that will go over if a guy gets a +5 throw power, only goes up to overall. So
what do you think, Hope?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, Hope.
I think in general, I kind of like the idea. I think they do need to switch it up. They need to change something. I think it's a good point. I think it looks like, I mean, based on that, it looks like we're going to see maybe lower ratings to start the year.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you're asking.
The overalls never concern me that much. It's kind of the stats behind it. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what they move on. I think we've talked enough about that one instead of keep hitting that head. So, all right, that one was another one. Not really different. Somebody asked about the milestone solos and being forced into them. That one was that one. I
didn't get that one.
They're open to changing.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't understand why they said they're gated, because somebody asked why I got to play this. It's also something that I don't know why they are just now like noticing. That should have been addressed probably 6 months ago. It's like, are you forced to play? If you need turnover milestone clip, why are you forced to play 5 games to get to that one?
Yeah.
Like, why is it just not 6 there? And then because they expire at the end of the week anyway, so why aren't there just 6 separate ones there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said they're open to it, which is really
cool.
Hopefully
they do.
I guess
milestone might be back next year. Lit.
I'm gonna blame that one on Gamechangers not forwarding it to it earlier. That's on you, Hope.
Thanks.
Hashtag blame Hope.
You guys are welcome.
Because somebody made a good point. I was reading it earlier. He was like, I got to play. I get 4 touchdowns. And I got to get 4 passing TDs. And I just want to get the one pick, man. That's all I need. I just want to get the one for my Jalen Ramsey. But I can't get it because I'm not going to play these damn solos.
I wonder if it seems like almost just like an oversight, or it's like, oh, you guys don't want to play 6 things.
Yeah, and also they can do this as well. You can tell Jake Stein this personally. How about I can just pass for 1,000 yards one game and get all 3 collectibles? How about that? So I'm got to keep going through load screens.
I know they mentioned in the AMA, somebody asked for like the next button on solos where you could just hit the next button and go to the other one. They said it's like technically infeasible unless they sacrificed a lot of the MUT content that they were doing. So it was really weird. There must be some coding issue there. They can't put that next solo button.
Well, he did give a caveat saying that it could if people were comfortable playing the same team, same stadium, same team, all that shit.
Yeah.
Which same players, which I wouldn't mind. So if let's say you're doing like the team solos for the MUT Master and you're just playing 16 games against the Panthers. That way you can just do it could be just next all on those 32 solo challenges. And then it will just try to figure out how to get it later on. But I wouldn't mind it for those where you're playing the same team. I mean, if you play 2,000 solos, you play the Broncos 16 times, you play the Panthers 16 times, you play them another 16 times, but they're big. So I wouldn't mind it, but I don't know how they would. I don't think that's worth coding if it's just only going to be for just those types of solo strings.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Hope, any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. So next one, are you guys looking at adding a practice mode on the MUT 18 is the question. They said they've heard that as a top request. Legally, it's always tough for us to comment on what may be coming in the future, but I would agree this is a great addition to Madden Ultimate Team. So kind of corporate speak there. Can't commit one way or the other, but I think a practice mode would be kind of cool. What do you think, Texas?
I don't know, because all the playbooks are the same. Like, it seems like practice mode would be cool just to test out players, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think a practice mode is like. I think we'll get it, and it may be used a couple of times to lab, but I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to be used a lot.
Hope.
Like, it's a cool mode to talk about, but I don't think that it's going to be something that we'll be seeing a lot of these guys in here lab. If you want to lab against somebody, do against you play against your friend. CPU does a bunch of nonsense that you can't really. That's really inconsistent at times.
All right. Hope, what are your thoughts?
I think we need practice mode. I mean, it's a new it feels like a logical feature, and it's been asked about so much.
Yeah.
I don't know if people wouldn't really use it at first, because I don't want to go and use like the Packers. Like, I would actually want to go see like what kind of throws, this quarterback could use. So I guess it would probably mostly be used for like testing players.
Yeah, testing and video breakdowns of stuff with players in game. Because people maintain MUT is different than practice. Like, so whenever GutFoxx does the video, somebody says, well, this is done in practice. It's not done in the actual Madden Ultimate Team. Like, I don't think that matters. But okay, I guess the practice would be kind of cool to shut those people up so you can actually get the testing done properly in their sense. But
yeah, there's definitely some quirks in practice mode. Like, I know people talk about blitzes, and there is a definite issue with. I think it's like a nickelbacker, that whether they're pressed on the line of scrimmage versus off the line of scrimmage on certain blitzes, when like the dime, big dime formation. That's one of the quirks. But otherwise, the gameplay is the same. There's no reason that they code the code completely different from one to the other. All right, moving on. Unless you have something else, I heard you say something, Hope.
I was gonna say, like, practice mode lies sometimes with blitzes.
Yeah.
Like, if you see a video like a blitz in practice mode, like, take it with a grain of salt, because it really is weird. It doesn't play exactly the same as a would in game. Don't know why. Just like,
it's probably because it's no detection in practice mode, right? So you can probably get a lot of things that come in as opposed to online, where no detection is a love-hate topic.
Yeah, it's been like that for years. Like, practice mode has been like, you'll find like a cool blitz or something in practice mode, then you'll go into a game and then it never comes in.
Yeah, I mean, because in game, like, you're facing guys that block halfbacks, and it's pretty easy to pick it up. And so that's the ongoing debate of practice mode versus whatever. But yeah, I think there is nano detection in practice mode, Texas.
Is there? I thought all CPU didn't have nano detection. So I guess it must just be for solo challenges.
Hope, do you know?
I think that's what they said, but I feel like it's on everywhere. Like,
well, I know it's not in solos.
Oh, really? I guess I got to start nanoing the bots.
Mid-middle cheese, man. Cover over the middle center or the guard, man. They come in through the middle untouched.
Yeah, Texas is definitely right about that there's no nano detection in CPU in solos.
I feel like there is in practice mode, though.
Okay, it might be.
I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah. I don't practice enough to know. So I didn't do it. I did one test this year with my kick power. And I'm like, yeah, kick power sucks. So that's the only thing I did this year. How far is 93 kick power?
Yeah. Hey, so next question was about the dynamic rookies. And this guy said they felt deceived by the dynamic rookie upgrade players and the way that they were communicated to them at the end of Madden 16 versus this year's 17 for what the actual rating upgrades he got. Like, I think he said the Jalen Ramsey set was like 2 million coins to put together, and that he got 0 upgrades this year, even though Jalen Ramsey's card right now is one of the best ones in the game for corners. And then Tom responded that they must do a better job at being clear on it. But I don't know. if he's
Well, they
committing.
did
Do
lie,
you think we're
but-
going to get loyalty players the end of the fiscal at the end of this year?
I think we have to, but they're probably gonna be more. They're probably gonna basically say this is only for these promos where they get upgraded, because they really did like do a disservice this year with those guys that did that. Because the guy does a good breakdown how what the whole thing went last year, but this year Zeke got an upgrade for Team of the Year.
That was like a bonus, yeah.
That was ridiculous though. So like, how come it said Team of the Week in Football Outsiders, and then Zeke gets an upgrade? So like, they were just doing things that just randomly. There was no order to it. So even though they weren't clear about it, and they did deceive people going from Madden 16 to Madden 17, because it didn't say when you completed the set this will only be upgraded if you done for Football Outsiders and Team of the Week content. No, it just said upgrade when they get upgrade. So yeah, hopefully next year communication is there. Communication so far in recent years has been basically just non-existent.
Yeah, I get. Hope anything?
Definitely, they just need better communication on it.
Yeah.
Because I thought when people were complaining about it, I was like, man, didn't they just say it was Team of the Week in Football Outsiders? Like, that's what I remember reading. But I mean, that guy breaks it down, so I'm gonna defer to him.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I know the sets were incredibly expensive, and I couldn't even do one.
I did one, and I got the wrong player. I did the Larry Tunsil one, and they gave me Ronnie Stanley.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's funny. So they screwed that up too. All right, next one is about the most feared promo and the Feed Your Beast. It was a pretty interesting. They really liked the most feared promo, and then Jake Stein responded. I was a big fan of the most feared promo as well. And there's always a new challenge for communicating new promos to casual MUT players. Now, how much do you think we should? This is me. How much do you think we should? How do I say? Cater to casual MUT players. Like, should we? And should the game developers care that casuals understand and can get promos, or should we just make them catch up? Like 12-year-olds, how much should this game be catered to 12-year-olds? Hope.
Just MUT or the game overall?
MUT in the promos in MUT.
I mean, I feel like you could just have promos that are like simple, and then you could have the more intricate promos like Most Feared.
Yeah,
I feel like you don't have to be like, well, this is a little too difficult for, what was it, Little Jimmy?
Yeah.
Little Jimmy. So, why can't they just do both? You know? I don't know.
So you're sitting on the fence. Classic.
No, I don't know. I guess. Shit, I don't know. Probably not too much. Right? That seems like the. I mean, you got to think about it, but I feel like most of the promos are really easy. Like, what's the big deal that like 5 of the promos throughout the year are a little bit more reading? Because that's all it is.
Essentially,
just read.
Yeah.
It's also an
new guys.
indictment of EA not communicating well enough, because you should be able to communicate what this is to a casual without having them feel left out. Also, if you're a casual, get a fucking friend that plays the game that can explain it to you. Like, that's just not necessary to cater to them when they can just ask somebody that plays the game they know about what they can do to make this. Like, well, how do I get this guy? And it just explains to them.
You guys have been blaming me so much. I'm gonna put some blame on YouTubers for not educating well enough.
Oh, what? We would never.
How dare you? I take this as a personal offense. I'm the best explainer ever. Anyways, yeah, I get you, like, explaining the promos. But, I mean, there's literally every time a new promo comes out, I think there's 20 YouTubers that do a video on it and explain it. So, I guess, I don't know. I don't have much, what's the word I'm looking for?
Sympathy?
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. You read my mind.
Yeah, I
Sympathy
mean,
for
I don't
people
know.
that
It's so difficult.
Don't
like,
want to learn.
I'm an adult. Like, I can fucking read stuff,
Yeah.
And like I can explain the stuff how anything works just by reading it. I don't feel like any promo was so intricate that I was like, oh, how does it work? It's not a different language.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. 12-year-olds know how to read, right?
Well, depends on the 12-year-old.
And Gronkowski hadn't read a book since 7th grade, so who knows?
That's just impressive.
Texas, we need your zingers to be louder. You're still fading in the back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gronkowski hasn't read a book since the 7th grade. My apologies.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate
Apologies.
it. Shout it proud and loud.
It's just stupid mics that it's like I have to be like right next to. I'm sorry. I'll vent about this on a stream later on.
Okay. All right. Great. So there was some talk about why they took away the Season Stars promo, and they said they're just trying to do, have so people don't get dull of those old promos. So they bring in, keep doing new stuff, which makes sense. I don't know how much we need to talk about that. Season Stars was popular, but hopefully they'll replace it with something else on Monday here. Oh yeah, one other thing from the Most Feared promo, Jake said something pretty interesting. I want to mention that when you are proposing is a really great idea for putting MUT players on a journey. So like some sort of journey for us, like a story almost. But we're really challenging ourselves to find ways to go beyond the traditional methods of whoever plays this fastest, pulls the most packs, dominates the auction house, etc., wins the promo. Skill, time investment, and potentially a decision should also be huge factors as well. So that's pretty interesting right there of itself. Like the fact that they're thinking of alternate ways of, instead of just like us, the grinders winning it or the pack pullers winning it, that like some sort of, how do I say, like an RPG or like a story mode. What do you think of that for like a story mode promo, Hope?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think if it's executed well,
yeah,
why not? Why not change it up?
Yeah. Texas?
It's interesting. I don't know, because I feel like, so is that's talking about what, CFM, or talking about something? I'm not too sure
MUT
what
promos.
they're trying to accomplish. I know it's MUT promo, but I just don't know. Like, I feel like the grinders and the pack pullers and the investors are the reason why these promos are such a success. So I don't know why they're trying to add a fourth element to that.
Do you think it has to do with farm accounts? They talk about farm accounts later. We'll get to.
I think maybe so, because over in Conquest, MLB The Show, you don't got to farm the game at all. You could just keep playing Conquest over and over again. Yeah. And so maybe that's what they're trying to do, where just kind of keep, if you're on the same account more, like over and over, doing things over and over, you get more rewards because of that. So maybe that's what they're talking about. But I mean, already that's what he described is how this game makes money. So I don't get it at all. I don't know why he's trying to add a fourth person or a fourth somebody, a person that might not even exist into this mix.
Yeah, it's not a bad point. It's not a bad point at all. All right. Next up. What something about Ultimate Legends? What it looks like we might getting like a Lawrence Taylor this weekend, because they mentioned we might get a right outside linebacker that'll be fixed very soon. So somebody asked about a promo that's voted by the community. This was Quads about superlatives last year and fuddies in FIFA. You know, something that the community voted on. It's kind of like this Mutthead vote where they voted for Carr. I think most of the community just doesn't know what's good for us. But Jake Stein reported, said, I really enjoyed the superlatives promo last year. Anything that the community involved is a good thing. Of course, interaction's always good for a game like this. So he said, while we may have run out of our runway this year, I would really hope to find something to do something like this next year. So I don't know, maybe a superlatives promo next year. Did you guys like that promo, Texas?
I liked it. I didn't like how it was scripted. Like they picked 3 players they wanted to give cards to. So I didn't like how it wasn't like left up to the community. We had choices, and I kind of like having different options, especially when they said best celebration. It was just Drew Stanton. They knew what cards we were going to be getting. they just dwindled it down to the few that we selected.
I gotcha.
So I kind of wish it was more open to just more people.
I get you.
I feel like if it was more open though, you would just have like whoever is the biggest fan base on MUT, they would get like all the cards. Like we'd have like a shitload of Cowboys and Packers cards. It's like that sucks. Like I don't want all the same team. So I think that's probably why they like pick 3.
Well, to be fair, we got like a lot of Cowboys this year, even if you didn't want them.
Yeah, no, dude, it's terrible. Like anytime a new Dak or Zeke card came out, I was like ecstatic. So I didn't have to read that all these Cowboys fans with like 2 trillion cards are complaining.
But I just want more tough choices, because last year one of them was like, do you want a damn Buchanan? And then name like 2 of the cards nobody else wanted. It was just like, it was literally like they were giving us a choice, but weren't really.
So I want better.
I want tough decisions. Yeah. I don't want to see people win polls by 90% because you're only giving us one guy that everybody wants. Like at the end of the day, we're not voting there. You're just basically giving us what we want and giving us the illusion that we have power.
Well, I mean that's really all life is, the illusion of power, right?
Yeah, so it's just annoying to me. Like, yo, make this I kind of wanted to contaminate one of those. At the time, I hadn't many Twitter followers, but if they do want to get this year, I'm gonna screw one of these polls up, man. I'm like, yo, everybody vote this dude. Everybody vote for the card nobody wants. Everybody vote for this damn Ricky Stanzi. Let's do this. Nobody wants that card. He's there because he's not supposed to win.
Texas, who hurt you?
What? I don't like being deceived, man. And I was deceitful. Like, hey, vote for this. Yeah, we can vote. Wait. Why are all these cards that are everybody wants winning 90% of the time? Like, there's no 45%, 35 there. Like, it's all fucking one going one way, man. I hate that.
Do you feel like just maybe some of them were like obvious choices, like
Yeah,
best
that's-
celebration?
yeah.
Like, I mean, like Drew
Yeah.
Stanton had the best celly by far.
But he's the only one that was there though. So basically, they're going to give us a Drew Stanton.
I don't know. I don't.
It was only
Who
Drew
were the
Stanton.
other
It was
I have
it was
no
three
idea who the other-
choices. See, my memory's kind of
Who were the
weird.
choices?
It was Drew Stanton, Drew Stanton, Drew Stanton. I'm like, what the fuck, really, EA? Like, you can't even give us somebody else here, like a John Brown. It had to be the one guy you knew that 3 times. Like, so they just like I want to be able to make the decision. Like with Mudhead gave people the decision to make the card, even though they knew that if they did quarterbacks, Toke was gonna be probably making a Derek Carr because Toke has that influence. But like with this, they didn't give us a choice, even though they kind of did, even though it really wasn't at the end of the day.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I thought it was kind of funny where they only gave one choice, though.
Just slap in the face, man.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of humorous. I'm up for humor. Anyways, so next one, the biggest issue with MUT at this point in the season of consistency and communication. We have grown to expect some kind of daily update content. Yet for 2 weeks, we have had none on Mondays with communication about it. Yeah, they're talking about the MUT week this calendar. Actually, that was a bad one. Sorry for reading that one. This next one is the one I wanted to get to. How do you guys feel about farm teams? As in the other accounts, we play solos for more rewards. Is that permitted in MUT? And what would you do to make sure it doesn't appear to be violating EA's terms of service?
Wait, why did he say is that permitted in MUT though? Like what?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta pull. Okay, that's funny. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Wait. What? Why?
I don't know why he's asking like, yo, can we farm? Like, yeah, you can do that. Why you like? That's obviously you can do that. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, the response I think you'll find even more interesting. We are looking to do things in the future that remove the incentive to use a second or third account. Farming makes the game design of MUT really tough to keep fair. From time to time, we release experiences. This is from Tom. This is from Tom on the developers. He is the lead producer that allow players to earn something faster than normal. You know, we release experiences that allow people to earn things faster than normal. They are essentially a reward for our users for engaging in MUT or the central balance point for a seasonal program. Having some folks choose to claim that reward more than once forces us to make a decision. Do we lower the reward for the users who do the normal case of doing it once to make room for the multiple users? Personally, I don't like doing that. All of that plays in. The thing I will say is that we think of multiple accounts as all separate accounts. Why am I having such trouble reading? So if I don't know. I think it's maybe because I'm at an angle.
Dude, I'm enjoying the struggle.
Yeah. So if they're doing something that would be a violation of independent accounts, it's also a potential violation in all cases. So they're saying it is a violation, and they don't like it because it hurts the design of MUT. What do you guys think of that? Can I get? I want to hear the hot take from Texas.
Farm accounts have never hurt nobody. And if somebody's willing to spend 8 extra hours grinding out these solo challenges for garbage packs that may give them something good once in a while, it don't hurt nobody. These cards are still going for as many coins as they normally go for. I know farm accounts takes money out of their pockets because, I mean, at the end of the day, they want people to get on the game, rip packs with money that where they can get money out of it. And farm accounts that give great rewards, such as these great packs everybody likes so much. I mean, I guess that's why they probably don't want to keep up the rewards on them. But it doesn't make much sense to try to ban somebody or punish somebody for using a farm account because it's a thing. So how do you dictate with a farm account? Because I can have 2 Xboxes. So now what's the farm account with that? Or I can use my friend's account. I don't get what they're trying to say is a violation in terms of service. Because nothing in terms of service that says you can't be on multiple accounts. There's nothing there. I don't know.
Hope, do you know?
As far as I know, it's fine to have multiple accounts. The way that I read that is not that if you have multiple accounts, you're in violation. It's if you violate something on one account, you would be violating on all your accounts. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So to me, that doesn't read as farm accounts equals ban.
Well, I don't think
I
they're going
don't
to ban
know.
you for that. I think they're just going to. I don't think it's fair to punish the people who are, I guess, playing like only the minority probably farms. I don't think the majority is out here farming games. I don't know the numbers or anything on this, but I think it's safe to say that people who are farming are the guys who are actually like the hardcore. So why are you trying to punish them for wanting to waste? I'm not saying waste your time, but spend more time doing stuff. I farmed a lot of solos on other accounts. But I got nothing out of them, so I stopped doing it after a while. Some people get good stuff out of it. I don't get why it's a big deal to them. I know it can affect the economy somewhat, but it's not doing as much damage as I think they think it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have no issue with farm accounts. Like, if you want to sit there and play solos against a computer 10 trillion times, like, I don't know what's wrong with you in the head, but, like, that's fine. Like, go ham. I think they're looking at alternative solutions to where you don't have to do that. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, me neither. Like, I guess like the 2000 VIP solos things where you had to do it on one account would
Yeah,
be
that's a good. I think maybe stuff like that is what they're kind of looking at. You
Which
just got to
I'll
make the
try, yeah.
rewards worth it.
Yeah, make the grinding pay off, especially if people who are playing these solos on one account. But I think majority of people still play. They only farm the good solos. They're not over there farming those
team solo.
those milestones. They're not farming team solos. They're farming the ones that give good stuff out.
Yeah.
And if those are, and then after a while, then if they don't give anything good out of it, they'll just stop playing them. So and they're still wasting their time. They're still spending 8 hours over there doing it. I mean, they could just let you replay the solos for the same rewards or maybe less rewards, but I guess they probably wouldn't want to do that if you can just keep playing these solos over and over again, get all these packs set up. But then it still takes a while to get those things. So I don't know. I don't get that a stance on farming. It's not the worst thing that Madden has right now going for it.
Yeah. So this is probably the biggest thing in this whole AMA. The question is, what is the possibility of getting multi-card trades with coins as an option on the trade block? I would think that would eliminate scams. Now, this is a very long answer. I don't think I'm going to go over it all, but I'd suggest everybody goes to the link and read it. So Tom answers this. Some history and facts is what he says. Other Ultimate teams got rid of trades a long time ago because the feature is very hard and expensive to protect from misuse. So he says our turtle tracking shows that vast majority of trades, 80 to 90% in a typical week, are bad, executed as part of an exploit. Now, this exploit, I'd imagine, means coin selling, or isn't that it? Or like trading from a farm team if he thinks farm teams are exploits.
It's either coin selling or if, like for today, for example, they have that set 25 gold for an elite player. I guess if you go on a farm account and you have 25 gold in your reserves, you can collect them for that free elite transfer to your account. So I think anything that is not done in their eyes is good, which would be like things like that would be considered a violation.
Yeah. So interesting that 80 to 90%. I want to talk about that first. That's crazy. I mean, the fact that they still have the trade blocking when every other Ultimate team got rid of it, and they can tell that 89%. I mean, if they can tell 80 to 90% in a typical week are exploits, why don't they just ban those accounts that are exploiting it?
But also, there's only 3 Ultimate Team games, right? And 2K never had trade block, neither did MLB The Show, right?
Yeah.
So that's a false stat. So like you're basically saying they took it out. It wasn't in the game to begin with. Like it wasn't a feature that they had in the game since Madden 13. Like trade block's been in the game since Madden 13, maybe even Madden 12. So like it's been in the game since its inception. So him saying that they took it out of the game is not true at all.
Well, for the FIFA and NHL,
I don't think NHL had it at all. I could be wrong about that.
Hope, do you know?
So you talking about EA games?
So with NHL is like they have their auction house.
Yeah.
And then what you could do is you can also offer a trade. Like you can offer like coins and cards.
Is that still available?
So like, I believe so.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't really play HUT this year.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't play HUT at all.
Yeah, me neither. All right. So they can tell they're, bad trades. I don't know why they aren't taking action on it. Like, seems weird.
Well, because I mean, how are you gonna prove it? I guess it's the giveaway.
Well,
so
right above that,
yeah.
right above that, where he says the eternal tracking shows vast majority of trades, he says there is a team that safeguards the economy, and the biggest thing we could do to make their job easier is to eliminate trades to align with other teams.
Yeah.
So there is a team overseeing it. I don't know if I think coin selling is very hard to stop. I think because you try to go to the stores, but I'm gonna guess that it's probably like some huge legal mess trying to track all of it down.
I get you. Yeah, I mean, they isn't EA going through a lawsuit right now for their FIFA people and coin sellers there?
Yeah, but I think, yeah, I think they're still going through that. I was gonna say, but I think that ended, but I think they're still going through that.
Yeah, they may have, I think the guy may have got put in jail in England, right?
That sounds right.
But anyways, so okay, moving on from that. That's just a crazy number to me. As you have noticed from the outside looking in, trades was almost removed last year, but they had some communication saying that it's going to be there, so that's why it wasn't removed. It wasn't because of the community outcry. It's because of they promised something that they ended up taking away. So they actually went back and held true to their promise, which is kind of cool. So then he went through here's the list of legitimate things that they will trade. You know, two users actually trying to trade. Loaning a player to another player to try out, giveaways from approved streamers and content creators. That's a pretty interesting thing right there. So I'd imagine like Hope, you'd be an approved streamer, content creator to do giveaways. Right. Now, right. I don't know if you want to do giveaways, but that seems like a very arbitrary list that they'd have, maybe, and similar to the Gamechangers that we talked about earlier. What is your guys' thoughts on if they do this, that only approved streamers and content creators can do giveaways? Texas.
I don't know, because like I'm probably, if I was promoting coins, I probably wouldn't be on this list. So anything that I would do would be subject to criticism. So I don't know. It seems like it'd just be the guys that are, I guess, the GCs and guys that are close to EA that'll get this feature. But I don't think they should just be limited to like, how many people is that? How many people is that? Like, it's like probably 20, 30 people.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like, I feel like that's kind of restricting, especially considering that a lot of people have friends that want to help their friends out and give them players to play with. So now they're going to get banned for giving their friend a card that they can't, that they don't want no more. So it's kind of weird that they're just restricted just to that.
Okay, so the way that I read this, it even says above, so this is a list of things.
I thought he was just doing bullets, and I thought he was giving ideas and suggestions how things can go. I didn't think it was just like all one answer. I think it was just like, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. I didn't think it was just all going to be all part of one. That's how I read it.
Yeah, so he has a bullet list of reasons why to keep the trade block, and right above the giveaways from approved streamers is loaning a player to another user to try out with the intent that it is returned. To me, it's also the giveaway thing isn't that you Texas can't give away players. I think it's they want to be able to give guys like me and other GCs and influencers and all that stuff cards to give away, because that's it's a good way to build your brand a little bit. I think that is what it's not. At least to me, like that's how it reads. It's not like GutFoxx. You can't do giveaways now.
Okay. All right. So it's just basically, I see what you're saying. All right, but so what about in the future? I guess is what my question was. Do you think? I don't know. I guess it's not worth going down that street. So like, if they only allow the trade bot and they to be given away from content creators and approved streamers, everybody else would be subject to bans. But if they get rid of the trade block, that basically makes MHC useless, right? No, I guess there is the auction house.
Unless you doing it that way, which then subjects you to getting your game banned because it might look like a coin transaction. So like it's a lot of things. I can see why it's kind of expensive to monitor this, because there's so much stuff that you have to probably look at and double check, triple check, and make sure this is actually like a legit transaction, or if it's something that's nefarious in a sense. So I can see how they're struggling whether or not to keep this feature in the game.
So another area they're maybe thinking about doing is traded items becoming non-auctionable, so but still tradable, collectible, and discardable. So if users want to trade players to make their team better, they can do that. What do you think about that if they make traded items non-auctionable, Texas?
This is kind of tough because like it's cool, but like usually you only trade like good cards. So I don't know. I don't think they should do that. If you trade somebody a card, now it becomes NAT. I don't know, man, because like I rarely do trades, but if I do a giveaway for a subscriber and I give him a Steve Hutchinson that's 100,000 coins and he can't do anything with but use it, I would feel kind of bad about that. So I can see why they will want to do it that way, but I feel like doing that as a whole is just probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, but the thing is, like, if you give them that Hutchinson and they sell it, isn't that kind of like if you give a gift in real life and then they sell it anyways? Do you feel like that's kind of rude or not?
No, it was a giveaway. I mean, it's much better than doing coin giveaway. They can do what they want with the player in a sense.
I get what you're saying. Hope, what do you think about that potential solution?
To where if you traded me a card, it would become
NAT.
I couldn't auction it.
Yeah.
But I could trade it back to you, and you could auction it.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
How does that technology work though? Like, these dudes can't even freaking get a next feature sold. How they gonna have that feature in the game? Like, that's some high expectations.
I don't know, man. Coding's a total bitch. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because there's so many other guys in the community that have kind of built their brand on giveaways.
Oh yeah.
Of cards. And I guess I never really thought of like, hey man, I won this giveaway. Cool, now I can sell this card.
Yeah.
So I got like, I don't know. It is kind of rude to like sell a giveaway card. I mean, I would probably do it too if I won. Why not? Want more coins so I can get the player that I want. I can't imagine that is a good idea, but at least you're seeing the thought process behind of why they want to do it.
Yeah, they don't like coin sellers. I guess that's the main thought process. All right, another one. I guess just along that same lines, approved accounts. Yeah, here's the part. The approved accounts can trade without the item becoming non-auctionable. The approved giveaways part. So, like we said earlier, with the approved accounts, so only like 20 to 30 people have it. Now, is that fair, Hope?
No.
No, I mean, that probably. I mean, like, that wouldn't be fair. We're talking about like a me versus you thing. Like, I mean, I don't think me personally, like, I don't think I'm above other people.
That's just what you say in public.
No, for real. You're too good. You're too good. I would say. I mean, I don't like. I would feel bad. Like, that would put me in like an awkward spot. That gives me a huge leg up on you guys for no reason. It feels like. Then again, like, I do work hard, you know. So I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent to that.
Yeah, everybody works hard, and I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I know life's not fair, but like the same thing with like the EA when they bring in people to get early Madden footage. Like, yeah, they have favorite people to do that. And it's like they'll get a nice bump to their channel getting that early Madden footage. But, you know, that's the same thing, really, right? Favoring one person over another.
Yeah. Yeah. And think about like this. So if it's 30 people, we'll just say 50 in general, there's probably at least 500, maybe 400 other people play Madden. So like that's like less than 1% of people who are approved to make these trades. So that's not good. If their cards, if a dude that plays down the streets cards become unauctionable, untradeable, and then this guy can trade willy nilly, I don't think that's good for the greater good. Essentially.
So Texas, I have a question for you. If it came down between this suggestion, whereas like they have to become non-auctionable if random Joes trade them, and only approved people can give away for non-auctionables or the regular cards, would you rather have the trade block gone? Or would you rather have the trade block like that?
I feel like if the trade block's like that, nobody's making trades. So it's essentially killing it. It'd be cool for those people that make those trades for those giveaways.
Yeah.
But if I trade a card and let's just say the feature is not in the game where if I get it back I can sell the card. If I trade a card and you get it and it's permanently on your lineup, I think that'll kill the trade block. And I think that's basically like having it out in the game. So I think that's kind of like either it's the same question essentially, but I think both those features are if it's in the game or if it's done that way, it's not in the game essentially.
Okay. Hope, what do you think? Which would you rather have?
I mean, I would rather have the trade block than not have it under the.
You'd rather have it
Under that
restricted like that than not have it
stipulation.
at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's also stuff. I mean, like, yeah, I would gain from that personally, but I like letting people borrow cards and stuff like that as well. I mean, that's part of the reason too. Loaning cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. We'll move on to the next one. Will we ever see track stats of a player? Tom says, hopefully sooner rather than later. Here's the thing. While I think it's fun to see how much work a player has done for your team, there's a little bit just variety and not really actionable. All right. That is a little bit just vanity. I said variety. Wow, I am having a hard time seeing. We are starting to have some fun discussions about how we would use those stats to unlock new experiences in Ultimate Team. I guess you can come up with a bunch of ways. Feel free to throw them in a thread. So it's weird that, to me, they can track our stats, but they don't want to show it to us. Like, we know they can track our stats based on those how many yards you get in head-to-head solos and stuff, and for those achievements. But they don't want to show it broken down. That seems weird. Hope, do you have anything? Texas, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Hope. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that's actually something that I like. NHL does it. Like, you can see how many goals that you scored with this player while he's been on your team. I don't know why they wouldn't want to show it. I have no clue.
Yeah.
Like, I really can't think of anything.
Maybe
I think it's just more. Yeah, I think it's just more work. But they got to actually add some more stuff into the game, because I know every game has this. If you play Call of Duty, you got like an app where you can track and see how many like, I got 50,000 kills with this gun, and I shoot with this gun. I get like this. This is where my spread is. So it's where I shoot most of my bullets at in the guy's chest. So like a lot of games have this ability, and MLB has it too. I think 2K may not. I don't really play 2K my team that much, so I can't really tell. But I just think it just comes down to the extra work, and the team's not really that big currently. So I feel like they just got to do what they got to do, and if they can add it eventually, if the team gets bigger and they can afford to add the extra help over there. But until then, it's probably just going to be just privated. So having to add another window or another app to all this stuff to where they have to spend money on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hope,
it's not a high priority.
Oh, go.
Yeah. I have no idea how big the team is.
You don't know? Okay.
No idea.
Would you have a guesstimate?
Shoot, I haven't been down there yet. No idea.
Okay. All right. So it's weird because like they pull in so much revenue. You think they'd have a pretty big team.
Yeah, but that money is like kind of like how college athletes, like NFL players, I mean NCAA football players and basketball players make their universities so much money, but that funds like other projects, like the volleyball team and the golf program. That's why people say players can't get paid, because that money that they're making for the school is going towards other programs. So and also the coach's salary.
Yeah. So
that's kind of how EA does with the NBA Live. That's not ever going to get off the ground. He's going to keep dropping that game. It's just going to keep flopping.
Mm-hmm. They got like the B or C team on that game.
Barely.
Yeah. So there's a lot more to go over here. There's a ton that they went over in this thing. But I think that's maybe where we should stop, because this has gone on for a while. Unless you guys want to keep going, I think we'll. I mean, there's just everybody that's watching this, you should go read the thread. It's pretty interesting. Those are kind of the big things I want to talk about. They talked a little bit more about competitive Mad in here. And like I said, the next solo button, more program questions. So definitely go take a look. I'll link it in the description of this video. But Texas, do you have anything else for the podcast?
If you don't work out often, go light on your first day back at the gym. That's all I got to tell you. Nice. I am in pain right now.
Yeah, no, it's okay though. I mean, it's the fresh air, the high altitude air that's really getting to you, right?
That and and my room is empty as hell right now. My bed's not here yet.
Oh. Hey, did you end up bringing the dogs along with you or not?
Yep. I got one with me right now on my lap, just chilling.
Nice.
Yep.
Hope,
expensive ass plane ticket.
Oh, was it? You paid for the plane ticket for the dog?
I had to.
Hope, how about you, man? Anything you want to say? Plug yourself before you go.
So back to the Granny Stranger.
Nice.
Bring that right back up.
No, that's it. Thank you for having me on. I can't wait to see your comments on the video, just shitting on me.
Yeah, you don't. I don't think they'll be shitting on you. I don't think they're gonna go all Cullenberger on you.
No. That's nobody can ever go Cullenberg.
Yeah.
Wait.
That's like the worst sponsor we'll ever get. If you get Cullenberg, that means like you got destroyed. Like you got like that's like the worst of the comment section of mean replies. It's terrible.
That's one of the worst comment sections I've had on YouTube in my few years of doing this.
So you had him on the show?
Yeah.
I mean, I try to watch this as much as I can, but
yeah, he was on the show. How long do you think that was?
That was probably about 2 months ago.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
and the people listening were not fans.
Yeah,
because everybody knew who Cullenberger was.
I'm gonna go listen to it after this.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'd avoid the comment section though. Like we got a message from Berg that wasn't too pleased. But yeah, so I'll talk to you later. Hope, thanks for stopping in, man. Thanks for hanging out. Give us the inside info. What limited inside, even though you haven't been down to EA, so you're kind of like a false game changer. Are you going down there this summer?
I haven't. I can't say. All that stuff's like NDA.
Oh, so you can't say what you... Wait. So you just lied to us when you said you haven't been there, like, because that's NDA.
I have not. No, seriously, I haven't been there.
But
like,
you can't say
stuff like that is NDA.
You can't say whether you're going to go.
I like to think that I'm more important, but I'm not going to my knowledge.
Okay. Well, what if you just show up at the door one day?
I think I would get a tour. I'd be like, "Yo, Gibbs, I'm outside." Gibbs would give me a tour.
Nice. But they wouldn't let you behind like the secret door.
I don't know. Do you think they have a secret door? They have a ball pit, and I always wondered how many bodily fluids have been in that ball pit.
It's like a ball pit in the middle of like a conference table. It's not like there's
you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
You've seen a picture of that. How many? Just like a rough guesstimate of how many bodily fluids.
Like what kind of bodily fluids you talking about?
All of them.
Semen?
All of them.
There's no way like people are doing it in the ball pit, are they?
I don't know.
Like there's no way there's no way they're gonna let a kid in there that's just gonna piss all over it.
You never know. A kid might get in there, pee his pants.
Come on, man.
That's just probably the most foulest place on the planet Earth.
In the history of ball pits, you're gonna tell me that no kid was in there and he just
vomited.
Himself? He just shit himself because he's having so much fun. So much fun that he just let it all out. He's just like fuck this, dude. I love this ball pit.
But like the ball pit's like the size of a regular table. Like the ball pit's not huge. You think a kid will get in this like mini pool sized ball pit and then just shit all over?
Especially if you don't know he's gonna fall in there.
Not intentionally.
Stand him up at the table and just shove him in there.
I mean, I like to think that there aren't kids going around in life looking at ball pits like, I can't wait to take a dump in that.
Okay, maybe I'll concede the point that maybe one kid once did some sort of bathroom stuff in there.
Once. Okay.
Now they just don't look.
Like now I feel like that's like me and Texas's goal if we ever go down to EA. Like it's always been my goal in life to take an upper deck deuce at the White House, but I think it might have to be like a deuce in the ball pit now.
We should get one of those balls and go to a lab and see how dirty it is.
Totally. Yeah. Or like how much cocaine's on each one of those balls. You think they just throw raging parties down there at EA?
No.
I mean, you go down to EA. Are you getting in the ball pit? I think that's what I want to know. Either one of you.
Am I getting in the ball pit?
Don't ask, man.
You don't have. Nobody can see. Nobody will ever know that you went into the ball pit.
You're there. You're
alone. You're alone.
Like I don't get the allure of this ball pit. It's not like it's the fountain of youth. Like it's not like I don't get it. Like I've never seen a ball pit and like I must go in there. Like that's never crossed my mind.
Oh, I'm not 7 years old and going to like McDonald's. Ball pits are gross.
You think they just need a jump house then? Like a jump house?
You don't need any of those down there. Just run your business. If you want to have fun, just have them go somewhere else.
You guys wouldn't want to have a jump house conference room?
Okay, I want a trampoline conference room.
A bounce house?
Trampoline bounce, like trampoline park with basketball. I'll take that.
That'd be
but no ball pit or jump house. We're adults. Like, what are we doing?
You guys, oh my god, you guys are just a bunch of miserable old men now.
But do you say you still have hope in your eyes?
I don't know. I like to have fun, but I wouldn't get into the ball pit because I would just have to wonder.
Well, you know what? I don't know what your definition of fun is, but mine is drinking alone at night watching baseball.
Let's see. I don't watch baseball. Is baseball the reason why you drink?
No, well, it's just I think life is the reason we drink.
I don't know. I would go into a bounce house. Why not? I haven't gone into a bounce house since I was a kid. How is it any different than a trampoline?
Because a trampoline's not a bounce house.
Bounce houses are so much more dope. It could be a castle.
A trampoline park. You gotta get the park with the basketballs and all that stuff so it can dunk.
Oh, like slam ball?
Yeah, then we good there. I'm not gonna get in a bounce house that's hot as hell because it's all plastic, and with 7-year-olds that have been jumping after eating cake. That place is probably disgusting.
Bro, I'm not gonna jump with kids alone.
Why would you jump alone though? That seems even sadder.
Yeah, but drinking alone, watching baseball is like.
Don't be changing the subject. Don't be bringing that up. You didn't answer the question. Classic diversion. Nice work, EA.
You gotta. I don't know, man. You gotta learn how to be a politician. I think that's what I'm learning.
You've got that nailed, I guess. All right. Well, thanks for stepping in, Hope. Take it easy, and Texas, I'll talk to you next week.
Hopefully, I'm better.
See ya.